When are you coming up on the...
All right, good evening, everybody. The joint DPW Subcommittee Town Council meeting, Monday, June 10th, 2024, 6 p.m. here in the Veterans Meeting Room. Agenda item number 1, call to order. 2, roll call. Councilor Daniel.
Present.
Councilor Shenier.
Present.
Citizen Member Lazo. Absent. I talked to him today, but he should be here. Citizen Member Cody. Absent. Councilor Adams present. We have a quorum.
I know Mr. Cody picked up his packet earlier today, so he was early.
Yeah, we saw Steve today earlier, so. Agenda item number 3, approved DPW draft minutes from May 29th, 2024.
So moved.
Thank you. Need a second.
Second. I'm sorry.
Any questions? Any discussion? All those in favor? 3-0. Let's see. Number 4. Review, discuss, entering a license agreement with Central Mass Lightning for the use of the Morris Street softball field.
So moved. Second.
Thank you. Mr. Town Manager?
Thank you. Tonight we have Jen and Matt Simpson here. They were local residents. They've been involved in some youth girls softball. So they approached me. They were approaching me about the possibility of pretty much taking Morris Street Field. We confirmed that we do not have any girls softball program here in Southbridge anymore. And their goal, I'll let them explain their goal, but they were looking for a field and they wanted to more or less take over Morris Street Field. And Matt is facilities manager, director, supervisor, vice president?
All of it.
All of it. At Anna Maria College, I used to work with Matt up at Anna Maria College. I used to bug him all the time in the middle of the night for calls to say, hey, something's broken. But in any event, they can discuss what they wanted, but this was really a discussion about whether the council wants me to proceed. I was looking for guidance from the subcommittee to say whether we should, if you're agreeable to proceed with going down this path. I put in the packet the Southbridge Softball Association licensing agreement that we have for their use of Henry Street Field as a model. So we would use something into that model to use for Morris Street Field. So this is really preliminary discussions. They would like to get going on it, but I just want to get a sense from the subcommittee whether that's something we should pursue. I believe it is. I mean, we've talked about improvements to Morris Street Field. They're a group that's willing to do that, but I'll turn it over to Matt and Jen if they want to talk about.
Before you start, I do want to take the motions back. I apologize. This is more of a discussion, correct?
Yeah.
So let's if somebody friendly remove their original motion.
I withdraw my motion.
Okay, very well. Thank you.
Second. See.
If you
Okay.
guys would like to talk about it, absolutely.
You can come up, Matt.
Yeah.
Please have a seat.
If you want to come sit down.
So we dove headfirst into the lake to open to start a softball organization last year. We're what 11 months into it.
Yeah, I got
And our biggest goal was to have it affordable for all young girls and young women, for that fact. And the biggest obstacle we ran into right away, as soon as it hit our heads against the wall, was field availability everywhere. We used the Armory in the fall, the senior center in the winter, over the winter, and practicing there, and it came up late fall that Morris Street Field would be an option. So we looked at it in the fall and said, yeah, there's some potential here. So as a board, as our board, we're looking to like to take over that field with us, investing some money and renovating the infield would be phase number 1. Basically, it's just get the weeds out of it. If you go down there, you look at the old infield's kind of cut in behind the bases. We'd like to take that back another 10 feet out to really extend the infield. That'd be really phase 1. Phase 1 would also be looking to do something with the turf, get in on some sort of fertilizer program, get rid of the weeds in there. And we also noticed, walking the property, there seems to be some sort of old irrigation or possible irrigation ever used to be there. It's probably offline, but maybe explore the options of maybe getting it back online in certain areas.
Is it on the back side of it?
I
Close to the
noticed
building?
it's the first infield closest to the building. There was a head at third base, and then I noticed it along the fence line on the third base side. There seemed to be a head there.
So I don't know what to say, it's a drainage, well, it is a drainage issue. When we have a lot of rain out there, you'll see actually water coming up from the ground and being moved into another basin.
Yeah, that's the one closest to the building.
That's the one closest to the building.
Yeah, so the one the field we're targeting is the one furthest
Far
one.
back next to the
Yeah.
street?
We would still like to keep that infield too.
Okay.
It's just early practice infield, but really we're gauging the field in the back.
Okay.
The one in the front's just not enough yardage to left field, and it really does kick. If you walk it, it does really kick down quite a bit. It'd probably be a lot more work and a lot more money. But we'd like to save that infield too for pitch and infield practice. But the main objective is to bring the other field in the back. With again the first phase, getting the infield fixed. Then with some fundraising through us is to really work on the existing fence in there. As you look at it, it's just really just a straight fence. We'd like to fix that fence and put a real modified backstop in there. Obviously, we'd keep the dugout area for now, but we really would like to put a fence in there in the past. I know we're down the road. I don't know who else uses the field, but the ultimate goal would put a 200-foot fence in there and really dive in and have a really nice field.
We want to beautify it. We want to really make it nice and kind of bring back softball to Southbridge, because Sturbridge has kind of taken a lot of the Southbridge girls, and they have a travel program. So we're the only one based out of Southbridge right now as a nonprofit. So my job, I'm the fundraising one that's getting all the funding. So I've been hitting up businesses with kind of a, if you build it, they will come type of motto for the field. So my ultimate goal is like a true scoreboard out there, signage with sponsors from surrounding towns, especially Southbridge. I want to hit up a lot of the Southbridge Business Association, which I found online.
You have a Southbridge Business Partnership.
Yeah, so I've been talking to Lisa.
Lisa Ford.
Yeah, and she was supposed to go to them about this whole thing for me too.
Okay.
To see if we can do some sort of business partnership with fundraising too. We do have a lot of support of businesses not in Southbridge right now, because we have girls from 11 different communities, so we're really coming from all over. But yeah, we just want, and we're thinking in the long run, we're bringing in girls from other towns. They're going to come to the field. We're going to have games. We want to make it really pretty and nice.
What about lighting? There's no lighting over there right now.
No, I'm not looking for any light or anything like that.
The only reason I bring that up is I don't know if Jack, if you talked to Peg downstairs about the master plan in that area.
I did talk to her about the fact that we had individuals that were looking into adopting that approach in the field, and then we would incorporate it into that.
Okay. All right. The whole intent is to redo the armory and do the fields out there as well at the same time. So it'll be a master plan and build off that.
Yeah, that would be cool.
So,
Yep.
it's going to be years, but it opens grants up as well for the
Yeah,
town.
and we did our board did approve funding to move ahead, so it wouldn't be at the cost of the town. So we would actually fund it to do the beginning part of the fields.
Phase 1 is approved through us to redo the infield, and the goal is at least to have practices on the field.
Very
And
well.
take it from there.
Anything else?
That's it right now.
We'll open it up.
Questions?
Yeah. Councilor Cheney.
Has Mike, I think Mike has reviewed this with them, the recreation.
Yeah,
director?
Mike had originally set up a meeting with them, and Jen had reached out to me as well, not realizing I was the town manager.
No.
On the first call. I was gonna see if I could give her some pointers, and then I met with Mike and Matt down at the field, and then we started to explore this.
I couldn't open up my packet, so I just had my agenda, so I have a few things. The use of the field, I think it's a great idea what you're going to do. I know I have family that goes to Webster to play softball out there because there's no leagues here. And I know our fields are in terrible shape. You go to Little League fields, the infields are all grass and weeds going through. Mars Street's the same thing. What I'm concerned with is the availability of local groups, the schools, in the event that they need to use that field. I would hate to restrict them. The softball makes provisions for them to do things. We've had high school tournaments down at Henry Street Field, and the softball canceled their games. So I would hope that you would consider something like that. Also, I know the soccer kids use that too. Is that going to be a problem? They use more of the, I'm gonna call it the old T-ball field, which is the first field coming in.
Yeah, it's not a deal breaker, but ultimately, we would like to put a fence in, and
Right.
that would.
Make it like a true
Then that would
softball
be,
field.
I don't think we would be able to fit a soccer field in
Right.
at that
And
point.
I think we need that here in this community because of the amount of people that go on the outside. Bathrooms. What's your plan for the bathrooms?
So I was actually gonna ask that question. So on our coaches list, we do have a few contractors. Is that something that, because I noticed facilities there, we haven't walked through them or looked at them or anything.
Last I knew, when I was on the recreation committee, the bathrooms were locked and the coaches had the keys
Yeah.
for Little League, but it's been 10 years since I've been involved with the Little League.
We would
So
have
they're
to look
there,
into it,
they're in
yeah.
that building.
Yeah.
I don't know if they've been destroyed, they're shut off, water, those kind of things. But I think it's a great idea, and I think working out some of what the provisions are in the softball, we could probably work a deal. I think Council Houses got something.
Yeah, I got it, but anybody else over here?
Please.
So,
This
Big advocate, all my daughters played softball and they all played up at that field. The town's plan was and designated those two fields to be girls softball fields, not soccer fields.
Right.
Soccer field is supposed to be down below at West Street and up behind John Street School. Little League went to Henry Street and a possible use at West Street.
Correct.
But that facility, bathrooms, all of it was supposed to be, is also like we would put a concession stand there for income. That field was designated for Lassie League and girls softball. I just would like to keep it strictly for girls softball. And I gotta say, I'll give you my number, anything you need as far as a contract. I did dugouts for the high school, I did the goal post, I did a lot of different stuff. My family and I, we donated and we provided material labor. The bathrooms are functionable, they've been mothballed. I'm sure you're gonna need a plumber to go in there and, and just check it out so nothing's frozen, stuff like that. We used to use the garage to store all the softball equipment. It's an ideal place for girls softball. And I don't know if there's gonna be any ARPA money around toward the tail end of that for maybe that fencing or dugout and tie it into the recreation area to give them their dugout, their backstop. But just throwing things on the table right now. But I'm behind it 100%, I'm with you. I'll give you my name and number and you can use me accordingly on a lot
Let me get
of
these
projects on the field.
Thank you.
all right, Councilor Daniel, then Mike, and then
Yeah.
Thank you. I'm a former high school varsity softball coach, and I see a definite need for the young ladies in this town, and also the surrounding district to have something available to them. I'm for this 100%. This is a traveling type of setup? Okay, and you can have different age levels.
Yep.
Yeah,
Okay.
so we currently have a U12 program, a U14 program, and we are hoping to get a U10 and U16. The goal is to have a U10, U12, U14, and 16 going into this fall
It's kind of
season.
exploded in front of us.
so you're looking this fall.
Yeah,
This
the
Yeah.
turnaround- this
U10, and we're
turnaround.
pretty confident we're gonna get all 4 programs
Okay.
come September.
All right.
I'm all for it.
Yeah, the travel goes from September 1 to September 1. You gotta redo your rosters at September 1.
Very well, thank you. Okay.
Good.
Councilor Marquetti?
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. Through you. I live up in that area, and I will say that there is a soccer program there on the weekends. I did not realize that it was supposed to be solely for softball, but I do know that the soccer association does use it every Saturday. I go by there. So with this plan, it looks to me like you want it to be solely for softball. So I don't know if that's gonna be a problem or not. I don't know why they don't use West Street. I don't know why they don't.
But it's a good point, but we have West Street, which you have a lot of you have all those soccer fields out there they use.
All I know is that they're
So-
using Norris Street.
I think getting Mike involved in what's supposed to be happening on the recreation side will go a long way.
Okay.
But good point.
Just to echo that, I think it would be coordination through the rec department. I've already had conversations about his coordination with different groups. We have plenty of soccer, football fields around, like Councilor Bowser said.
A lot of fields out
Charlton
there.
Street, the high school has, we built 3 fields up there that have a tremendous amount of fields that are never used except for high school. So there's plenty of soccer fields. It really is. This is something that we should pursue.
Very well, thank you.
So
So you're looking at the fall. All right, I think we've got the conversation about the Vietnam Wall.
Or earlier, so we
The
can start the
logistics of fall, I
process.
mean,
All right.
it's still a process plan for us, but the fall, we would like to be able to practice on it. That'd be phase one, just renovating the infield. The fence and the school board and stuff, that's
long term.
coming.
Mr. Town Manager, you want to have a meeting before June 30th, or you want to have one after, kind of just tighten it up a little bit?
On this?
Yeah.
Well, I'm gonna if I get the sense that
There's a lot of
everybody's
favor. I'm in favor. I think we're all in
agreeable to this,
favor.
we'll
Yeah.
work on the license agreement. I plan on having another meeting before the end of the fiscal year anyway. So
Okay. Is there anything else? Oh, I'm sorry, George. I apologize.
I know there's gonna be some opposition from the neighborhood, one person. And we've dealt with that when I was on recreation committee. I dealt with that with my first year of council the first time around. And when the splash park came around, the individual complained about the parking lot. We're gonna have a parking issue. I've had complaints about the construction equipment on there, so we need to provide parking. So I would suggest is we take those Jersey barriers away from the senior center so they can access the senior center parking and walking through and those kind of things.
we'll review it with DPW.
Right, so because you will, it's the corner house. You're gonna have,
Yeah.
I know you're going to.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, is that the big?
We noticed the parking in the front would be tough.
Yeah.
Right,
The parking on the right-hand side of the armory would probably, with the dirt, it used to, I remember it used to be like dirt, I don't even dirt there anymore, you might have paved
well,
it.
there's, at night, there's not too much going on at the armory. And then on the weekends, there's really not too much. So I think if we were able
Well,
to
look
take
at
those
that.
Jersey barriers, talk with DPW, those would put there out of concerns of that house because cars were going on his lawn. Little League, he hated Little League, he hated Lassie League, he hated everything.
About a house next to a field.
Maybe we'll have the girls, we'll have the girls go trick or treat.
So you're gonna have to
We
do
can work
that.
the charm.
We can move along, but yeah, I think that's a good
Right.
point too.
So we take that into consideration, but I think we should be able, I would suggest that you move forward with it, and it's a great,
Great idea.
I think it's a great idea.
Thank you.
I'm gonna go.
Appreciate it. Look
Thank
forward
you
to it.
guys.
Appreciate your time.
For you.
No, I appreciate
Thank you.
yours. Thank you so
And
much. And
let
thank
us
you
know
for
any
doing it.
questions, you know how to get a hold of
Yeah.
them.
We'll work that out. I'll send it to you.
Where's the
Cool.
other?
Thank you
Thank
guys.
you. Appreciate it.
And Jack has all our info.
Thank you guys. Have a good night.
Oh, really?
So I'm right.
5, review discuss Department of Public Works request for up to. All right, hold on a minute, guys. Hey, guys.
Sturbridge.
Review discuss Department of Public Works request for up to $965,950 of Chapter 90 funds for the road improvement 2024. Entertain a motion to recommend Town Council for approval.
So move for discussion.
Very
All
well.
right, well, thank you very much. It was nice to meet you.
Very well. Mr. Town Manager.
I'll defer to Rich. He put it forward as the amount of money for use of fixing some roads here in town. I know the next item is the bid for doing materials and sections of milling and pavement. So I'm sure he has a plan to get at least 1 or 2 streets done.
So as we've discussed previously, we did put together a list of roads that we'd like to try to see through for this year, and then some additional repairs, speed bumps and so on. So we've been attempting to successfully complete the bid process to award a bid to get this work going. In the process of doing the procurement, the state of Massachusetts now requires every project to go through a pre-qualification process. That process requires you to put together an engineer's cost estimate for the project. So currently, under the bid that we have out, that we'll talk about next, we bid quantities based on nominal amounts for asphalt, milling, reclaiming, and then token quantities for drainage structures, repairs, and so on and so forth. So the amount that is listed as the total request for Chapter 90 funds is the amount that the project pre-qualified for through the state.
Very well. Discussion. All those in favor? 4-0. 6, review, discuss, intent to award road improvements 2024 to J.H. Lynch Sons Incorporated, funding using up to $965,950 of Chapter 90, and authorize the town manager to sign all related paperwork and entertain a motion to recommend town council.
So moved.
Very well.
Second.
Very well.
So
Discussion?
DPW,
Oh,
DPW did put out the bid package after the evaluation of all the bids. Lynch was the lowest qualified responsible bidder. So as such, due to mass procurement laws, they are the responsible qualified bidder. So our intent is to award it to J.H. Lynch pending final review.
very well. Mr.
I have a sour taste in my mouth for Lynch after Main Street fiasco, and it's still not right. You go to Sturbridge, they did Sturbridge from the Southbridge line up. Look at the manholes, they had to come back and bring them back up. There's still some down going to the Sturbridge. I have a sour taste for this company, and I won't support them.
Thank you.
Mr. Chair, through you, DPW director and myself had a lengthy conversation with this. Either way, they were the lowest responsible bidder. We did not have enough to disqualify them as a bidder due to mass procurement laws. I was not the town manager during that period of time. Rich was not the DPW director during that period of time. So we do have to follow the procurement process. We feel that with the oversight with the new DPW director and manager that we would manage this work in a responsible manner. But however, again, due to mass procurement, we absolutely have no way that we can disqualify them as the responsible low bid.
Yeah, no.
I thought on the mass procurement is if we, which provides the funding, are unhappy with a job that was previously done by the individuals, and we had justification to say why we don't fund it, that we could go to the next bidder.
The difference in the evaluation of the bids and the bid packages was such that we weren't even close to be able to disqualify them as bidder. Well, also we do. Again, I wasn't on the town as town manager. Rich wasn't here. We just don't have enough if we were to disqualify them as a bidder at this time. Even though we were not happy with their work, we just do not have enough to.
But even their repair work, when they came back to do the repair work, is still wrong. The manholes weren't done with the cement like they were supposed to. Those are, and Lynch basically told us, shove it, kinda, is what they said. So what happens if we don't fund it? If we don't award this bid to Lynch, what happens? They do a bid protest?
Well, if I may,
Go ahead.
let me take
Rich,
this
yeah.
one. So, Jack and I did have a discussion with our legal counsel about this. We did discuss the fact that there was some issues in the past related to a project that was completed by Lynch. We discussed the broad range of the scale of pricing between them and the next three bidders, which was quite the window. We are currently under bid protest with this bid by our second bidder. So this, if this gets voted to proceed tonight, this may very well get dropped from the agenda for next Monday night's council meeting, depending on the outcome of the bid protest. It's my intention just to try to keep this moving so that we can actually get some work done this year, but depending on what happens with this bid protest, we may be forced to rebid it anyway. For the third time.
So this $965,000 is for the work and material.
So that is the total project amount to do what we've discussed paving for this year. If the contractor can actually accomplish the work that we require this year because of our late start.
And I can have your assurance that you or some qualified individual is going to look after the best interests of this community?
So when it comes to paving the roads in town, as long as I'm here, my name will be on everything. So if it's something that I don't agree with, the work will get shut down immediately.
Okay.
I walked that whole thing former town manager McCall with Lynch and everybody. We picked it apart, the whole thing, and they were supposed to fix it correctly. They didn't really do what they said they were going to do. There were 7 water cocks that they couldn't even shut off and down because they were bent from back. I saw what they did. There was no oversight really to watch them. They didn't really compact correctly. That's why we're having a problem on Main Street. It took a lot of money. We had them come back. They didn't do it a good job on that. I mean, I just have a sour taste of this company, and I'm not going to support this.
I understand.
What's the differential between Lynch and the next bid?
So the scores were evaluated based on a number. Lynch was at 37 and the next one was at a 22. So it was like a 15-point spread between the two. So it was substantial. And if you looked at the dollars per square yard, Lynch was at, I believe, $5 on one of the items, where the next bidder was at 25 per square yard. That's a lot of roadway not to be able to do. I agree with the fact that there was not lack of oversight, but there again, if we were to deny it and say, we're culpable in it as well, because we didn't have anybody on site that was adequately supervising that job.
Okay.
So if we're going to deny it, there's something that Lynch could come back and say, or somebody in a bid protest was, well, you're equally that if you didn't do a proper oversight. So this is why we're at the point right now, while we all have sour taste and think there might be an issue, we believe that with the new DPW director.
If there's a differential, I get the differential now, say we contest the bid, how long does that process take? Because I'm concerned about running into the winter again every time we bid.
We can't contest the bid. If we say, okay, we're gonna award it, well, the next bidder has contested the bids already, so it's going through the review of the Attorney General's office.
What's the time delay on, say we award and someone contests? What's the turnaround time? Do you know offhand?
Well, it's already contested, so it's gonna be, it could be 2 weeks, it could be 3 weeks from now.
Thank you.
Councilor Marquetti? I got you.
All right, thank you, Mr. Chairman. So I remember when they did Main Street, and I remember Councilor Shenya, before he was on the council, was down there watching the work that was going on, saw the shoddy work that was going on, saw them sit there with a broken down piece of equipment. They let the asphalt cool.
Get cold.
They paved it anyway. They didn't have the right paver, so they paved anyway. We even came up with a
Punch list.
punch list of what they were supposed to do. We walked it, we looked at it, they didn't do most of this. And when this was brought to the DPW director's attention, he said he didn't want to deal with this anymore. And I believe that we did put them on some kind of a list that we weren't going to accept bids from them anymore. If my memory serves me right, we talked about not hiring Lynch again in this town. The difference between Lynch and Broken Stone is $60,000. I don't know if that's too much of a difference. I don't know. All I know is Lynch did some shoddy work on Main Street, and I don't see why they cannot be completely cut out of doing any more work in Southbridge.
So rather than have this circular discussion, I will contact KP Law tomorrow, who has the procurement lawyer. We'll discuss these issues and I'll bring it back to council.
So if I could just continue, the other question that I have is, it says here various locations. How can you have a bid with that kind of a vague program? Various locations, how do they know how much to bid?
The bid was laid out as a quantities bid, so the bid form.
Well, what if there's a problem with the road and they don't know about it? So that's what happened with Lynch anyway.
Unfortunately, Mr. Marquetti, that will happen anytime you open up a road. So this is not an opportunity to take a shot at your public works director. This is an opportunity to pay attention and listen.
Okay, well, I'm not taking a shot
So,
at you. I'm just
oh
saying.
no. So first off, going back to Main Street, I did not say that I no longer want to deal with it. I specifically stated that there was no grounds. So everything that was laid out prior to me working here was not laid out properly based on the oversight that you had. You had a deputy director, town engineer. You had a director of public works. Neither of those people shut the project down when they should have. When they came back to do the repair work, I was out here all night long with the milling crew to make sure that they milled out every single piece that was laid out. There's nobody else here to back up my position. I've been doing the job of 2 people since I started. There was nobody to be here on site during the day to babysit the paving crew.
Okay, all right, you know what I'm gonna do right now
Well,
is,
but
is
I'm not done yet. but
well,
I just-
they-
He's
we're not
got a lot
gonna,
to
so
say.
hold on,
He's got a lot
hold
to
on.
say.
What I'm saying is, we're not gonna keep going back, we understand what Lynch did. All we're doing is going around a circle at this point in time, saying the same thing over and
Right,
over
but-
again. Nah, I'm done with the whole, I got it. If you don't wanna vote for him, don't vote for
Right,
him.
but, you know, out
Jack
of
already said
defense,
it. All those in favor?
I don't think
Opposed?
it's right. I'm not voting.
Okay. Abstain?
Abstain.
All right.
Motion fails.
The recommendation failed. I will contact KP Law to see about the repair
But
process.
Jack, when you do that, I want you to mention the fact that the DPW director, VHB, and I believe yourself and me, went down to that road repair work, and it was, the problem was what McCall agreed on, and
All right, number
VHB
7.
wasn't even
We're
the
just keep
person.
going over the hash. Everything's going over again. Number 7, review, discuss, rescinding agenda item number 18 of April 8, 2024, Town Council meeting. Entertain a motion to recommend to Town Council for approval. Thank you.
Second.
Thank you.
Just gave me the finger. What do you mean?
Mr. Town Manager.
So we went out to bid for the aeration project. The company that came in and did the bid determined that they couldn't do the work that was scoped out. So we had to rebid it, so this was a rebid. So we're rescinding the prior motion and re-awarding the bid to the next company.
Okay, discussion. All good? All those in favor? All right, number 8, review, discuss intent to award wastewater treatment facility aeration pipeline project to Acidiform Technologies for $68,500 to be paid from number 600-440-583-000-24582 planned capital and authorize the town manager to sign any related paperwork. Entertain a motion.
So moved.
Thank you.
Second.
Very well. Mr. Town manager.
So this went out for rebid, and that was the company that was the lowest responsible bidder.
How much more was it in increase? Not,
$18,500.
okay.
18,500. All right, any discussion? Any further? All's in favor? Opposed? Okay. Number 9, review, discuss a DPW transfer request for $2,000 from account 001499530000 spec serve to account 0014995587000 parts and accessories, non-vehicle to cover necessary purchase orders for the remainder of the fiscal year. Entertain a motion.
So moved.
Second.
Thank you. Mr. Town manager.
DPW needed some additional parts to be able to repair some equipment that they had.
Do they have the transfer form at all? Didn't get one.
Yeah, it was emailed out later on, but it's right here.
Oh, it was? Okay. I missed it
I
then.
believe it changed. But they did, yeah, we do have a transfer form.
Okay.
The amount of the account balance from account is $15,578.
Okay. Any discussion? All's in favor? Motion to adjourn.
Sometimes we send
There
us
you
the
go.
package.
All's in favor? Thank you.
Sometimes we send you the package.